Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another Dying Light video. So, today's subject on Dying Light is Dying Light 2 the best zombie game ever? Is it one of the best? How good is Dying Light 2? So, I did a video a while back on Dying Light 2 is a horror game, and that is when they added some cool color grading settings to have the ability to change how the game looks, which was pretty awesome, and I enjoyed. But it still was missing things, and now we've added some newer things to the game to make it even better with the last update that they released that just came out. Dying Light 2 now got 10 times scarier with this update. It was a night focused update with also parkour, if you can't tell, because the parkour seems very smooth now. Oh, other than me getting stuck on people, but that's not the point. So, if we're talking about if Dying Light 2 is one of the best zombie games, what makes a zombie game? What makes it the best is like what's the criteria to make a zombie game good? Well, there's a few key points if you want a good zombie game. Number one is pretty obvious. It's the zombies, but just saying it's the zombies doesn't explain that enough. Because it's pretty easy just to throw in a default template zombie into a game and say, here you go, I got a zombie game. It's about, I think personally, the best way to have a good zombie game to play is one that's the perfect mix between fun, chaos, and absolutely terrifying. That is the mix you want for when you are playing a zombie game. If the game's just too fun, you lose that fear, the adrenaline rush of the terror. If it's too scary and there's no fun to it, you might just be drop dead scared, and it'll be fun to play here and there because it's the adrenaline rush of being scared, but then you just can't play it long term because you're no longer having fun with it over time. So a necessary thing is the zombies make a big part of it being fun and scary. It's the design, it's how they are. There's different varieties of zombies, countless different types, especially in games, movies. We've seen them all. Movies like 28 Days Later, the show Walking Dead, Zombieland. Then there's all the games that we've seen them, 7 Days to Die, DayZ, Days Gone. A lot of things on with Days. The Call of Duty zombies, there's so many types, and see, that's what I mean. They're not, when I say different types of zombies, I don't just mean variants, like, oh, we got spitter zombies, and we got zombies that throw things, and stuff like that, and we got runners, we got walkers. No, by the different zombies, the variety, I mean, there's whole different, like, styles that the zombies can have. And that is one of the key things, is what your style of zombie is. So, like I said, perfect mix, in my opinion, is scary and funny at the same time. So, how exactly would you classify those? What do you classify as scary? What do you classify as fun? Scary, well, things like Dying Light 1, that is a great answer to that. Dying Light 1 was it was just terrifying. You were scared to go out at night. You were absolutely terrified, and you have so much fear to go out at night. It made you thought you were gonna go out, and even if you had the best stuff, you had gold gear, and you'd been playing the game for a while, you got high legend levels, and you still were like, should I go out? Should I sleep? What should I do? Well, that was fear. Just because you were scared of the zombies. They were terrifying, and it wasn't just the zombies. It was mainly the volatiles, but having the excess like zombies all around the entire map, along with the fear of volatile and just causing a chase. And a lot of the time when I played Dying Light 1 and I got into a chase from a volatile for being scared, weirdly I would die by a normal zombie than the volatile just because I messed up, because it caused me to not think straight and terrified. The hell was that? Hearing some weird noises. But so that's what I'm getting at. That's terrifying. 7 Days to Die. The game is it's so unhigh definition. That's not a word, but not really high graphics, not HD, and it has its issues, and it's not set up phenomenally. It's not an amazing thing, but they're pretty creepy. It's because the lack of everything in that game causes the zombies to be scary, and it's confusing, but like those are things that are like terrifying. This is what classifies as terrifying. It's not just jump scares, it's the fear of just seeing it in general. But then there's fun zombies, like Dead Rising. Phenomenal game, but the game is more fun than it is scary. I never felt scared playing any of the Dead Rising games. Sure, maybe I was scared to die because I didn't want to have to go back on my checkpoint, or I didn't want to lose stuff, or whatever the consequence was. Right? That's different than being actually scared. And games like that, they handled the creativity and fun of killing zombies phenomenally. The amount of options you had, all by weapons and styles, and ways you could use them, and crafting, it was great. But it was just fun. It was fun and chaos. It wasn't scary. Therefore, it means it's missing out on a massive chunk of content. So that can be kind of problematic. But see, now that we've explained that, how are Dying Light 2 zombies? Well, at first it was kind of rough, but it's gotten better. And with the most recent update, we've brought it back to the Dying Light 1 feeling, where volatiles are the ones that cause the chases. And there's no stupid chase number counter. Well, there is, but it's not as like, hey, you're on chase level 3, chase level 4. It's not just there, which I hated. It was super annoying. I didn't want to know what chase I was on. I just want to be in the chase. Well, I don't want to be in the chase, but I also do. So then they added like the fact that you don't just have the screamers that scream and boom, you're in a chase. Now it's just volatiles that come out and see you and they yell, just at the beginning of the video. And it's terrifying. It really is. And that's exactly what I wanted. And it makes you be scared to go out at nighttime again. Which is, so Dying Light 2, with the latest update, they've hit the zombies, like, they've done it well. And they're fun. All the weapons you can use, modifications and drop kicks, and use parkour to your advantage to fight. It's made it fun and terrifying. The perfect mix, which is what we were looking for. So they nailed the zombies. They're now exactly how you want them to be for a zombie game, in my personal opinion. But we also have the ambience and the environment. That's That's a very important thing too. You can't just have it. You can't have scary zombies in a non-scary place. Like Dead Island 2 zombies, you take them and you put them in a scary place, it'd be scary zombies. But if you leave them where they are and the maps they're usually on, you'll notice they're not very scary because of the area. See, when you're playing Dying Light 2, especially at nighttime, especially if you have headphones like I do right now, when you are at nighttime, you encounter a problem such as the sounds are terrifying. You're screaming, glass breaking. Screaming can be from survivors becoming not survivors, or other infected volatiles, all the different types. You glass breaking, people getting hurt, just terrifying sounds that just make you have like a weird feeling. And that is a great type of ambience environment. And the area of the world just feeling dead, but also trying to be alive, like it is right now. Like it's growing, like all the nature, but it still doesn't feel alive. And then the fact that it has a day and night cycle, where daytime's normal, and then you hit nighttime, and it's a whole nother story. It's a really good way how to do their environment. So they handled environment and ambience very well as well. Like it's fun. There's lots. The world has variety and a lot to do, but it's also scary. So that leaves you with gameplay, the map, and the story. Gameplay is a very important thing to all games, but it does have high importance in games like this. You don't want it to be too boring, but you also don't want it to be like just too chaos to the point where there's no fear to it. You feel like you're just a god. Which, in this game, it's not. If you have it on some hard settings, the game can be quite difficult. You might struggle quite a bit. But with having the game being... Oh, okay, slide right off. Oh, alright. With the game being harder, and there being still lots of options and fun ways you can go about doing things, it just adds a whole new level of fear and fun to the game. That's super important. All the parkour, that's what makes the game unique. But it's good. That's good gameplay. And now that it feels a lot smoother, that makes it so much better. So, you can definitely feel the difference on how things have changed a lot, with the gameplay being a lot better. And parkour being a lot smoother, and and parkour being a lot smoother, and things just running a lot nicer, and all of that is just massive advantages to making the game, pushing the game to be one of the best ones. So that's really what you want in the zombie game, is you want to have all those things, especially like the gameplay. It needs something unique, which is the parkour, and it needs to be running well, which it now is. Oh, that is a problem. Hi, buddy. Okay. I am not gonna lie, I'm terrified as I'm running around right now, because there's just so many volatiles now, and it is gut-wrenching feeling as you run through. Nope, we're gonna go inside. There we go. So, and then you hit the story element, and see, one thing about that is it's not 100% necessary. You can go, if you want to make it around, like, based around the story, then you need to make a terrifying story with terrifying events and terrifying things happening. But if you're not focused on making it just built around the story, like Dying Light 1 has never really been, Dying Light's always been more focused on the gameplay than it has the story. Example, Dying Light 1. Not a very story-driven experience. There's not the worst story in the world, but it's also not great either. And that's kind of what you're looking for. You want it to be good, but not phenomenal. And then you're good. But then you gotta make the gameplay really nice. You gotta make lots of smooth features, good ambient, like all the stuff we've just talked about before. Need to be really. And then there's things.
Any idea where to find Bardis's body?
Then there's things like the map. And I seem to have been interrupted by some random side quest or something.
Listen for yourself. Don't you find it strange that a group of Bizarrians wants to hand us over an injured
Oh, that is how we started Chase. Anyways, so that's nice. So as I've talked about, the map is also very important too, because you need. Oh, what the hell? Okay, well, we have now encountered lots of issues, so I'm gonna have to speed this up. Anyways, map. Very important as well. You need the map to have that scary feeling, which I mentioned earlier. Just the feeling of... There's lots of maps that do feelings like that. The feeling of just dread and horror as you run through them. Games like 7 Days to Die, where they're just spontaneous random maps that just feel so empty, but it makes it somehow more terrifying. But then there's games like Dead Island, where the map's just super fun and there's not really too scary about it. So you gotta find the perfect mix, and this game's got quite a variety of locations and ways you can play the map, which can make it scary and fun, which is exactly what you're looking for. So, those are really all the main key points about having a terrifying zombie game. There's a million types of zombie games, a million types of zombie movies. Zombies are a big thing in our media and world. So, you gotta do it right, and there's a lot of ways to do it. So, in the eyes of, well, I guess me, and all the stuff I have just stated about how I think a zombie game should work, I believe that Dying Light 2 could potentially be one of the best zombie games, because it checks all those boxes. Which, checking all those boxes is a very, very important feature. How can I miss that? So, is Dying Light 2 one of the best horror games? Is it the best zombie horror game? Is it crappy? It's really all opinionated. You pretty much just gotta decide yourself. But if you take in the facts of the stuff I have just said about how most zombie games typically are, because I've played quite a few. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, I know better than everybody else, but I've played a bit, and just from me playing so many, those are all the points I've learned about what I think comes out of the best zombie games. Because every zombie game's had their things that have been good about them. Days Gone, 7 Days to Die, Daisy, Hot Zombies, Dead Rising, Dead Island. They all have the good things about them. And this game now does a perfect mix of them all. And what makes this game even better is the developers are super focused on constantly helping and listening to their community on how to make the game better constantly. So props to them for doing that and continuing to just build on their game and make it a lot better than it ever was. So if Dying Light keeps up where it's at, and next DLC is really good, and they keep doing what they're doing, we could be looking at one of the best zombie games potentially ever released. And this might be it. So, do I recommend playing Dying Light 2? Yes, looking for a good zombie game. This is a good one. You heard everything I just said, hopefully. You decide. Is this the best zombie game ever? Is it good? Is it bad? You heard all the points I said. Yeah. Well, that all being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you'd like to see more Dying Light 2 content, just keep up on the views, and I will keep posting Dying Light 2 content, because I know a lot of people tend to like it. So, see you on the next one.